So what I want you to know is that for the first time, I've been a pastor 40 years. For the first time in 40 years, I have a building that's working for me rather than against me. Almost every facility I've ever had as a pastor, there were always limitations. The building was creating problems we were having to overcome in order to grow. And for the first time, we have a facility that's actually working in our behalf. And let me just tell you what's happened. We've been in the church now in this building 3.5 months. And since we've been here, we have more than doubled. We've had over 112 new people have joined the church in the last 3.5 months. We have had over 735 guests that have filled out cards. I don't know how many have come who didn't fill out. As you know, most of them don't fill out information. 735 have. We have seen our children's areas just quadruple. But more importantly than anything, we've seen people saved. Almost every week, somebody's coming to Christ. We've baptized 10. We've got 17 ready to be baptized now. And I just say to you that, that I know God picked us up and brought us out here. And I thought that because God was so in it, that it would just be a piece of cake. We'd have no problem. We wouldn't hit any snags along the way. Boy, was I wrong. But I've learned something. I've learned that it's those snags and those closed doors and those difficulties in the process that help prepare you for what God has planned for you. I look back now and I think, if in June of 2012, the night when our deacons and our staff were sitting together in a leadership meeting and we were trying to determine, is it God's will for us to sell our building and move north 20 miles, we had all these questions. Lord, where are we going to go? How long is it going to take to get there? When are we going to get the building started? How much is it going to cost? We had all these questions that we had no answers to. And it dawned on me not too long ago, if on that night we had known the answers to those questions, if we had known in that meeting on that night that we would wind up losing about half of our congregation, that it would take us 6 years before we would actually get into the building, that half of the men sitting in that room probably wouldn't be there whenever we got ready to start, and that it would cost us, the whole project would be about $10.5 million. Would we have had the faith on that night to have taken that first step? And I think the answer to that is probably no. And it dawned on me that you never have enough faith at the beginning of the journey for the faith that's going to be required for the completion of the mission. And God doesn't tell us the answer to all of those questions because he knows we can't handle it. What he does is he gives us enough light to take the next step. So what my prayer is for you today is that today, through these men that are coming, that you're going to get some light. You're going to get some information that may give you enough information to take the next step in whatever journey that God has called you to. I have no doubt that God's going to use these guys to do that. I am so grateful for BGW Architectural Firm, for S&B Construction, for Christian Child Care Ministries, for the Baptist Foundation in Mexico. These folks were gifts from God to us, all of whom were in it to build the kingdom. And I want to say to you, if you're in the need of architects or contractors, these people you can trust. You can trust them. Having been through it, they've done what they said they would do. They weren't in it to try to gouge the church. They were in it to help save us money, but they've done a beautiful job, as you can see. Excellent quality. It's been a phenomenal process. You can trust them.